Hi again. So I'm gonna start doing zine readings from number 3. I haven't started number 4 yet, so when I get through this, hopefully I'll have started it, or I can start reading readings from my other zine. But I started writing this zine in January of 2012. So, all right. I start out with, I still need to get the first 2 zines out there more, but here I go with number 3. My kid is at choir and I'm at Caribou Coffee. It reminds me of living in Minneapolis, which I miss. I hate the town I live in. Things are slowly progressing in treatment. I'm still really depressed. It's normal for me to be depressed, unfortunately, but now that... Okay, it cut off. But now that won't... I have no idea, sorry. But now that I've noticed it, it's like I can see how much it affects me. Today I had a pap smear and I needed to get weighed. I think I was freaking out beforehand without realizing it. I tried to purge right before, but I couldn't. When the nurse told me to get on the scale, I told her I'm in eating disorder treatment and they blind weigh me. She was like, "Oh, that's cool. Just face me then." And it was totally over. I felt better. After that, the nurse practitioner was cool and she didn't tell me my BMI. She also said I was small. It was so weird to hear that because I see myself as fat and it was really frustrating. So that was the intro. And this was a question that I posed in the zine. And it says, how is it that so many of us are extremely educated on EDs and nutrition, yet we can't break the cycle? And the reason I put that in there is because I've always been kind of interested in nutrition. Just teaching myself or learning it to teach others, or because I'm a mom, I learned a lot of it to make sure I was feeding my child appropriately. I brought my child to a nutritionist a few years ago, and I've always taken that really seriously, but when it came to myself, for some reason, I overlooked that. Like, I felt it was okay to eat. Like, in high school, I went weeks where I would only eat, like, a granola bar a day, or a granola bar and a bowl of cereal at night, and for some reason, that was just totally normal for me. Like, I didn't think twice about it. And I actually would, like, brag to people how little I ate that day, and I don't know, like, it was weird. I can't even describe it. But yeah, that's kind of what I put there. So this is something that I wrote when I was feeling really, just really upset, and I was getting jealous, and I felt like a failure, and I felt like a loser. But sometimes I feel like I suck so bad. I see people getting into graduate school and I'm like, cool, but what did I do wrong? A couple years ago I applied to several programs and I only got into 2. And these people I know, I thought that I was like as intelligent as or something. Have all these fucking interviews. Then I start questioning myself and everything about me and everything that I do and how I must suck so much. So yeah, like, I get really down on myself about a lot of things. I compare myself not just with body weight and food, but just with a lot of other things. I guess I still compare how much I have on my plate with others. I want to make sure I always have less. It's really annoying. It's kind of a lot of energy. I'm realizing that I do that. But yeah. So I guess these zine readings have kind of turned into reflections about my eating disorder and kind of things that I thought about when I'm reading these or when I wrote these. Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, I put this lyric in here by the Weaker Thans, the song Aside, if anyone's heard of it. But I fucking love this song, so I'll read the lines from it that I really like, and then that will be all for this reading. Rely a bit too heavily on alcohol and irony, get clobbered on by courtesy and love with love and lousy poetry. Then another part. Armed with every precious failure in amateur cartography, and I'm leaning on this broken fence between past and present tense, and I'm losing all those stupid games that I swore I'd never play, but it feels okay. And I guess I put that in here because I'm also in recovery for addiction. I am sober like 3.5 years. It started getting really bad maybe a year and a half after I left my abusive ex. So yeah. But I liked that he said that he relies a bit too heavily on alcohol and irony. I guess it just reminded me of my process with drinking and the irony that came along with some of my behaviors and what I was doing. It just seemed, yeah, I guess very ironic in some ways. Armed with every precious failure. Just kind of, I guess that kind of reminded me of like always keeping the failures that I've made or done or whatever on me. Kind of just wears me down, and I'm leaning on this broken fence between past and present tense. So I guess I thought of that as like kind of always thinking about what I did wrong and what I could have done and all these things, thinking about the past and how I could have changed it. And then, but realizing that I'm like here in the present and there's things that I'm doing now that I'm trying to change, but I'm still kind of leaning on that like in between. And I guess that's kind of what I thought about when I heard that song. And I've listened to that song a million times for since probably the album came out. So it's just, it always gets me. I fucking just love that song. But anyway, I've been chatting and reading for 7 minutes, so I will stop here. Thank you again.